Thanks. Go ahead, you go.
Okay. So yeah, so first of all, thank you everybody for being on the call and considering my comments. We're talking with sellers. Where I'd like to start is from you guys as far as what you're coming up with or coming up against that seems to either stop you or you don't know how to get past it. That way I make sure that this session is valuable to you. So who'd like to go first? Who has some stuff that they'd like to talk about in this session when talking with sellers?
Anyone?
Me, I have a question.
Okay.
Yeah, because
So let me request something. Whenever somebody's going to contribute, just say your name. Just say Jerry, and then that way you know who's talking, please.
Sure.
Thank you.
Yes, I have a question. This is Jerry. I always encounter sellers that was already dealing with their brokers. Okay. So instead was they always they always consult their brokers first before closing the deal or directly selling it to us. I think what I'm trying to say here is that those sellers that that has a broker already. Hello, that already has a broker tends to be more hesitant when it comes to selling their property.
Okay.
Yes. Just some tips. What would be the best thing that we could say to convince them more that we're the best.
One thing, and thank you for your question, Jerry. And we're going to address that. Introduce themselves because I didn't let them do that earlier. So go ahead.
Hi, my name is Alan Weininger. I'm been with Arco Group since January this year, and it's really fun. Can everybody hear me on that?
Yeah, it's really fun. Oh, you can't say that. I mean, they're going to move to you. Some of these guys are working for other students.
Yeah, I know. We can't say it's fun.
I can.
We have another our acquisition partner, Dulce.
Hi, my name is Dulce, and I work with Hugo, and I agree with Alan. Yeah, it's really fun.
So I'm going to let Jerry, I'm going to let Dulce answer. Share with you how we'll all chip in on our side with what happened. Who was it? Who called you?
Who is that? Jerry?
Yeah, Jerry.
Hi, Jerry. Well, I have the same situation, and well, the broker, the realtor, she wants her conditions with the contract. So we do our own systems. We have our own contract, and she didn't want to do our papers and our way.
Oh yeah.
So
how did you work around that?
Well, I'm still working on it, and
correct. And then what did you tell them? Know that it's better to work with us. What, like our advantages.
Well, I talked with the owner, and I tell them that the broker didn't needed me to be there, and I told them that we close in 30 days, and it's easier away, and we pay cash. So I'm still working on it.
So essentially, what you're saying is that you inform the seller that we don't really need to work with a broker, that we don't need realtors involved. So the first conversation to be had is with the seller, number one. I mean, do you have a listing agreement with your broker? What's the situation there? If they don't have a listing agreement, a lot of sellers, when they bring in a realtor, it's because, number one, either the realtor's their friend, so they trust them, or number two, so everything you're saying is in line.
Friend.
Okay.
So you need to let them know.
So in Dulce's case, she it was a family friend of the seller. That's why they want their family or friend to either benefit from the deal, or the second reason, if they don't have a family or a friend that is a realtor, is because they don't feel like, you know, everything is above board with what you're saying. So what they're going to go do is they're going to go get a realtor to just double check on their side that everything is correct, it's legal, that the contract or the offer that you're making is actually something that's real and it's not some fake little document, you know, that.
And you know, sometimes it's because the people is older and they don't understand, so they're not a checkup.
So those are like we've identified those are like the two come across. So to address number one, which is whenever they have a friend or a family member that they want to involve, one thing that I share with our team here always is, you know, don't ever resist, even if you don't agree with it. Agree and then propose your idea afterwards. So for example, a seller says, hey, and get their opinion on it. So, you know, if immediately we say, no, you don't really need a realtor because blah, 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 you know, it's unnecessary, then they're going to feel like there's something fishy that we're up to, right? But if we say, yeah, absolutely, just agree with them, and you say, just make sure that your realtor is familiar with investment deals, investment transactions, so that, you know, if they're gonna be in this transaction in any way, that it is a cost that you're going to take on. That way, you set the seller's expectation immediately that you're not going to be paying that realtor, that if they want to bring them on, then they're going to be paying them, and tell them, you know, you can definitely bring them on. The seller, and you know, the seller pays all realtors.
Yes.
So you want to agree?
So basically, with this type of scenario, knowing the seller's situation and
Alan?
As seller, everybody else.
yes,
After you tell them free to contact me and make sure they have the number and everything. Repeat the phone number that you're contacting, and then let them go on with it. What that does is it shows that you're open and want to alleviate any fears of things.
And I'm sure you ran into the situation where it's difficult to establish trust. So consider that, you know, over the phone is actually easy. All you got to do will actually become easy for you because you'll find the ways to establish trust with the people.
Okay.
And one of the ways that you can do that, and it was something, I don't know if you read the comments that I put on the recordings that you sent to Jerry.
yes, I was able to.
Okay, good. So one of the things is you want to listen to what the person's saying on the other side of the phone, and not necessarily listen to their words, because people say words all the time. But what you got to do, you got to actively, if they're feeling fear, if they're feeling anxiety, if they're feeling stress, if they're feeling pressure, if they're feeling alone, if they're feeling tired, you know, whatever feeling is happening for them, they could say, oh yeah, I'm fine. But you hear stress and anxiety, that dimension of which, you know, human beings communicate with each other is a dimension that it doesn't matter what the words say. What matters is the is what we get from the other person in regards to what they're feeling. So you want to make sure you want to acknowledge it and just say, hey, so I'm getting from you that you seem a little upset right now. Is that accurate? And the other person will either tell you yes or no. So if they say yes, you say, okay, what's going on? And then, you know, they may share with you. They may be like, well, it's none of your business. Say, okay, I understand it's none of my business. I'm just trying to do, and then you bring them the opposite of what you heard. You know, if they're feeling upset, you want to tell them, look, I really want, if I can, it's my goal to make you happy more than anything. So now you switch that feeling, that emotion on them so that they know that you're somebody that you can trust. Right? So whenever you take what somebody's giving you, right, if they're already happy and everything, then guess what? You got the ideal seller. You know what I mean? If they're already happy, they want to give you a deal. They're like, yeah, you know, I just want to get rid of it. We have a few of those, like rarely from time to time. And those are obviously the sweet, sweet deals, you know, where the person's like, look, I know I'm going to give you a good deal. You know, I want to sell it fast. I wanted this. You know, if you can give me this, I'll be happy. And it's pretty easy. Like, that's the ideal situation. But understand that the marketing that we do as investors are to find people that are distressed. And the only way that we can deal with it is by building the muscle of how to convert their distress how to convert that through us into something positive for them. So, you know, we become like call it like the instruments of where we transform their distress into peace, into happiness, into joy, into confidence, whatever it may be. And by the way, we have another one of our team members that just walked in. Hector, introduce yourself, please.
Hi, my name is Hector, and I'm the closing partner here at Arco Group. How are you?
Good. Hi, Hector.
Hello,
We're
Hector.
yeah. There are a bunch of other people on the call. They're all VAs too, and yeah. Say hi, everyone. Hello.
Or not.
Hola. Hello.
There you go.
Are you all in the Philippines?
I'm in Holland, and the rest are in the Philippines.
Okay, wonderful. Who's in Holland?
I am Marge.
Oh, hey, Marge. How about the World Cup, huh?
Yeah, I think we're going to win this time.
Good for you. Good for you.
Which country? Like, not the USA, but I know you're cheering for another country. Is it Argentina?
Now we have Mexico, Panama, Colombia,
Ah.
and the USA in the house.
Well, I know it's going to be Holland. We sent Spain home.
Yes.
That was good. I was happy about that.
I know.
Things coming with them on the same jet.
Anyways, yeah.
But carrying on, so to talk to Jerry's question about establishing trust on the phone, that's the number one thing you want to focus on. You want to establish credibility. You technically establish credibility with knowledge. You don't need to know how to do all of this real estate stuff. You just need to know a few key terms. And a few key terms that establish your credibility right off the bat, you can say stuff like, we do deals, you know, we do anywhere about 6 to 10 deals a month. Just that right there, like, believe it or not, whether it's true or not, like, establishes credibility, because they think of you as an expert now. You're a professional. You're not a newbie that just started, right? You can literally tell them we do about 6 to 10 deals a month. And it's true, because, you know, the amount of leads and contracts and stuff that you know, these investors that all of us work in Prosperity Group, you know, we're all doing about that amount together. We're partnering on deals. So you can say it confidently. That should give you a lot of confidence immediately. So that's one of the other comments that I was making on there is with one of the phone calls with Jerry. It's really important to sound confident on the phone, even if you don't know what you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a saying that I heard when I started, and it was, fake it until you make it. So really take that on. Fake it until you make it. It really works. Lucy, would you like to say something?
Yeah, it really works.
So you want to say something like, you know, this is, you know, I really want to do, you always want to say the words that lead to the end goal that you want to get. And the end result and goal that you want to get is a contract, right?
Right.
Or at least an appointment so that you can get a contract. So you always want to say, look, we only want to do win-win deals, like win-win situations. We do about 6 to 10 deals a month, and we would love for your property to be one of the ones that we buy. Of course, it has to be good for you, and it has to be good for us. We wouldn't want to do anything that is not good for you, and we wouldn't want to do anything that's not good for our business. You want to avoid as much as you can the words bad, problem, but. You always want to say, if somebody tells you, yeah, but you're only going to lowball me,
Yeah.
and you say, and if you say no, like, even if no in that conversation makes sense to say, like, find a way to not say no. Like, you don't want to say no, but problems, can't, stuff like that. What you want to say is, well, I understand your point, and you have a very valid point. So you want to validate their point of view. You don't want to invalidate their point of view. You want to validate their point of view, and you say, you know what, you're absolutely right. I can see your point of view. I'm sure you've dealt with a lot of people before. And then instead of saying but, you say and. Now this I learned from my coach, Tim, because he does that all the time with us. we give him excuses. I tell him this is so hard and this and that. He goes, yes, and you still need to do your marketing. You still need to do this. You still need to do that. So it's the same thing with these sellers. You tell them, yes, absolutely, I can understand your point of view. You feel that we're going to lowball you, and I want you to know that my intention is to do a win-win deal with you, where it actually is good for you, something that works for you.
Works for you. Okay.
So if you start to notice, you know, the way that I'm communicating, it's in a way where I'm using empowering words rather than disempowering words, like can't, won't, you know, but, no, problems, stuff like that. You want to start using yes, and, definitely, absolutely, great, fantastic, you know, awesome. Jerry's really good with that. Jerry, as in like on the call right now. On your phone calls that I heard, you're really good about being empowering and so forth, and that's really good. What you want to do apart from that is you want to stay intentional to get the contract.
Mm-hmm.
So I tell my team, like, make it worth your time. I mean, they're essentially getting contracts without even seeing the property. Like, I don't know how many. Dulce's got like 5 or 6 contracts within the last 2 weeks or so, right? Or 3 weeks or something like that. She's gotten 5 or 6 contracts, and how many houses did you see before you got the contract? You saw 2 houses? 2 or 3? Okay. So she's about 50% conversion rate with her lead for getting contracts without having to see the properties. Alan.
Yeah. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Does she run the numbers immediately and give an offer, or does she go by you guys and you decide on what to offer?
I'll let her answer that. How do you do it, Dulce?
Well, I'll go ahead and do the comps,
Mm-hmm.
and then I'll go to Hugo and show him what the comps and everything, and that's up to him if I go ahead or not. So.
Okay.
So yeah, so she does, you know, and I'll share with you guys. I'll see how I can share with you. She goes through our initial questionnaire, which is a 5-question questionnaire that we use to get straight to the point. We used to use a 30 question questionnaire. That doesn't work. It's too much time. Half of the, you know, like not even 70% of the information we can find online on the appraisal district and all that stuff. But the most important questions that I've identified that we can't find anywhere but from just talking with the seller is in this 5-question questionnaire. So she asked them these questions. Once she gets a gauge of what's realistic from them or not, then she brings it to review so that we can see if it's a good deal or not, and then she makes the offer. So does that answer your question or not?
Yeah, because like some of the clients, I don't know like on a meeting with Jerry this morning, he was talking about he wanted Jerry to handle the negotiations.
Mm-hmm.
And some of our clients, they just give us a percentage of how much they wanted to buy the property for, and I don't think like how much. One client instructed us to just offer like 50% of their price or 75% of their asking price.
Okay, when you say clients, you're talking about your investors.
Right.
Gotcha. Okay, the investors that hire you.
Yes.
Okay, gotcha. So
like,
you don't know what to offer.
Yeah, like with, I don't know how clear it was with the meeting with Jerry this morning, but he said that he wanted Jerry, the VA, to handle the negotiations. So I don't know if she's the one who's going to give the price or determine the price that they're going to offer, but some of our VAs are given that instruction. Like while they're on the call, they
Right.
just give a percentage of what they wanted to buy the property for. But
Okay.
you think that's good to
Yeah,
just talk about price?
Yeah, so here's what I think. It all depends what you work out with your client. If your client wants you to just set up the appointment so that they can do the negotiation,
Yeah.
then all you do is your goal is to get the appointment, and then that's it. You want to get as you know, you want to get all these questions answered so that you give your client all the tools that they need to be successful, and then you give them the appointment, and then your job is done. But if they're asking you that they want you to do the negotiation, like get the price, make them the offer, and all that stuff, then you need to be educated and trained on that. And you know, we can do more sessions. I mean, the team here, it's like, I don't know how many training things we have, but it's quite a few. It's like 15 different items plus videos that they watch and all that stuff. So they go through some extensive training to feel confident to make the offer. But the bottom line is real simple. Most of us are offering 70% of the after repair value minus repairs minus our assignment fee. And then we have a new model that we're taking on where we're offering between 70 to 80%, but we're able to relist the property on the MLS
for full price.
so that we can try to find a retail buyer. Now this is something brand new that we just started testing 30 days ago, and we've got about 5 properties listed on the MLS to test it to see if it works. And you know, so we haven't closed one yet like that sense, but that's only to deal with all of the competition out there and everybody, all the sellers wanting more for their property than what we can offer. So I'll answer your question. If you're expected to negotiate and give them a number, then you need to get trained, and that'll be in another session. You need to get trained in how to determine the value of the property first.
Which is running comps and all that, right?
Yeah, yes, you need to get trained in running comps.
Yeah. Our VAs are already trained to use the MLS and pull out comps for that, but yeah. I'm still hesitant to do that myself. I mean, I really need to go through the client and make sure that, are you good with this price? It looks like this is the comps and this is how much it's worth. Because you know my fears, like what if they're just saying that the repairs is this much and when you go there it's not.
Perfect. Who wants to answer that?
I have a rule of thumb. If they tell me there's no repairs on the property, I figure it's $5,000 worth of repairs.
Oh, okay.
That's just a rule of thumb that I use. If it's immaculate and we can prove it by pictures either via the MLS or other means, Zillow, sometimes you can find them on Trulia, you know, different places where they might have had it listed previously. And you can check pictures and see what the house looks like as far as the amount of updating that needs to be done. Then, you know, you can say, okay, $3,000, $3,000 for the repairs. But always, if they tell you there's no repairs needed, all houses that have had a tenant in them need repairs.
Okay.
So always leave yourself at least $3,000 for repairs.
Okay.
So I'll add to that. Marge, you asked the question, right?
Right, I did.
Okay. So I agree with Alan. When they tell me there's no repairs, I automatically estimate 5,000, you know, in updates to get it rent ready again. And that might be high, but it protects us. So when I make my offer, if I'm doing 70% minus, 5,000, then that'll be like my max offer. So I want to start below that and then work my way up. However, you got to remember that in our contracts, and especially if you're working with prosperity students,
subject to owner's inspection.
Yeah, I'm sure they're all getting the same special provisions. You know, we're not afraid for somebody to tell us they got 5,000 repairs when it's really 20, because it's real simple. If we make them the offer, we'll just tell them, hey, this offer was based on what you said, and we hold them accountable to their word. So, you know, we try to get the contract, you know, before we go out to the property so that we make sure that it's worth our time. Because if they're not willing to sign a contract to demonstrate a commitment to us, then it's not that we aren't willing to go out there. It's just that we really value our time. We want to make sure that we're dealing with people that are seriously looking to sell.
Right.
So what we do is we try to get the contract. If we don't, then at least we get somewhere close to where at least they give us their word, saying that, yeah, that sounds like it'll work, send it over to me, I'll review it. And they say, you know, you should go take a look at the property. We might tell them, okay, well, can I meet you out there? So that right then and there we can lock it up. But If they tell, yeah, if you make them an offer that you get the contract and then it isn't what it is, it's real simple. It's just another conversation saying, hey, you told us it was $5,000 in repairs. Come to find out, we went out there, a contractor said it was more like 15, and the only way that this can work is we renegotiate price, or you take care of some of the repairs, or we work out something. This needs to get done, that needs to get done, this needs to get done, and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
And then at that point, they'll either say yes or no. And if they say yes, great, right? But if they say no, not a problem. I understand. On to the next deal because it's not really a deal.
Okay. Thanks. Yeah, I understand now.
Good.
And
Yeah, keep bringing great questions because it's I can tell you, I can go through what I want to say, but I really want to make this valuable to you all. So ask me all the questions that stop you. You're on the phone and then they say this and then you don't know what to say,
Yeah. AC Ramos's VA is here. Jen, do you have questions?
Hey, Jen.
Jen? Or Jason, the one trans. Jason, do you have questions?
Let's see. Hi, this is Jason, the one trans VA. Let me just check on that. Okay, so how about like owners who has a lot of big amount of mortgage, and they still want something to to be left for their pocket. One would be the reason is that they need the money to relocate since they are going to sell their house. So how can we deal with these people?
Sure. So what I'm gonna do is right now I'm gonna Marge, you're the one on the go-to webinar, right?
Yes.
Okay. I'm gonna email you. I'm gonna email you the 5-question questionnaire that we use for screening our sellers.
Is that
And
the WOW one?
No, no, not.
Oh, okay.
This is proprietary, and
Oh,
it
okay.
costs $1 million.
Okay.
That's great. Thank you.
15 minutes.
Well, it made us 300,000 last year, so I could say at least it's worth 300,000.
Oh, that's nice.
But this year we're going to make $1 million, so it'll be worth $1 million. Inflation. There you go. Give me 1 second. Because I'm gonna address your question with that, Jason, and that's why I want to send it.
They're great. Thank you. Thanks.
You're welcome. Let me while I'm sending this, let me give you a little background. So I started really actively wholesaling back in February of 2013. So almost a year and a half ago. And the first things that we would do was ask a whole bunch of questions and never get any contracts. And even though we would build rapport, as we were taught, we weren't intentional to get the contract. We couldn't get contracts. It was a hassle. So with time, I sent it to you, Marge. Hopefully you got it.
Hold on, let me just check. No, I haven't got it yet.
Okay.
Maybe in a bit.
So as we've developed with our negotiation skills and so forth, we've developed this list that effectively, hopefully you can see it on the screen share that Marge is sharing right now, that this is what effectively gets us to the point with our sellers and allows us to build rapport at the same time. Now, rapport, for those of you that may not know, it's just really getting the seller to establish like and trust with you. That's all that means. So in the first question number 1, it says contact info. You want to get the contact info, meaning the name, the phone number, the address, and the zip. You want to get all that stuff. Should you get disconnected, you can contact them back immediately or follow up with them, whatever. Question number 2 and number 3 are just to break down whatever they got running in their lives, whether they're stressed, whether they're sad, whether they're whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Asking them if there's a mortgage or if it's paid off, if it's vacant or there's a tenant, if there's a tenant, for how long is the lease, how much is the lease, are there any major repairs that they know of. That's just to break them down to get them into conversation. When they're not willing to do that, there's no way you're going to get the question number 4 or 5 because they just want an offer. I just want a price. Just give me an offer. Just give me an offer. So you use that to your advantage whenever you're talking to them. Now, Jason, question number 4, you ask it before you ask question number 5. Question number 4 is, what's your reason for considering to sell your property to us?
Mm-hmm.
And you ask that because you want to gauge their motivation. If you value yourself, if you value your family, if you value your time, if you value your life, ask this question and don't give up until you get an answer from them, and ask it in a very nice situation, because this is what's going to determine if there's motivation right now or not.
Okay.
Question number 5 is, how much money would you like to make for your property? And the answer, 70-80% of the time is, well, no, you sent me this, you give me an offer. Sorry about that. What you want to ask is, how much would you like for your property? And they'll say, well, no, you sent me the postcard, give me an offer first, right? So when you say absolutely, this is what I'm talking about, you agree with them. You say, absolutely, I'm going to make you an offer. I'm going to run some numbers and I'll be able to do it, make a full cash offer in 24 hours or less.
Okay.
You say, but, I just like to understand how much you would like to make. Now, in question number 2, you ask them if there's a mortgage, and they tell you, like in this case, Jason, yeah, I got a mortgage of about $80,000 left on the property. You say, okay, great, thank you for sharing that. When you ask them how much would you like to make, they'll say, well, just the best that you can do. And if you tell them, you ask them, okay, so would you be willing to sell for what you owe? That's like the one line that you need to ask if they have a mortgage.
Okay.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
If they tell you that, then you know what the answer to number 5 is. The answer to question number 5 is the question to answer number 2, which is
Number
if
2.
they have a mortgage.
Oh, okay.
If they say, well, I'd like to make, at least another $10,000 on top of what I owe, right? Then you say, absolutely, I'd love for you to make that too. Remember, you don't resist anything.
Yeah.
You agree with anything. I just got to run some numbers. But let me ask you this. If necessary, would you be willing to sell for what you owe?
Okay.
So even if they want the 10, 20, 30,000 on top of what they owe, you just agree with it. You say, absolutely, yes, that would be nice. I'd love to be able to get that to you. I got to run some numbers. I got to get approval from management. But let me ask you this. If it's necessary, would you be willing to sell for what you owe? And if they say, no, not really, then you can say, okay, so what would you say would be the minimum? What would be the best that you could do to sell to us? And then they'll either tell you a number, or they'll say, just make me your best offer, or whatever, and you say, absolutely. Are you flexible? You really want to get a gauge from them if they're reasonable and if they're motivated. Number 4 tells you if they're motivated. Number 5 tells you if they're reasonable or unreasonable. And this is all you need. We don't spend, Alan, how long do you spend with our leads on the phone?
On the first call, maybe at most 3 to 5 minutes.
Yeah, so I hear a lot of people starting off in the business, they're spending 10, 15, 20 minutes building rapport, talking about the seller's children and where they went to college and all that stuff. For us, we need to do all that stuff, but in about 5 minutes or less, because our time is valuable, and we're fishing for motivated people.
I know, and then we're instructed to fill up the Freedom Soft sheet.
Well, yeah, so the Freedom Soft sheet, go ahead, Alan, share how you do that.
The Freedom Soft sheets you can get from these 5 questions, and then you can go to HCAD or Harris County Appraisal District or Montgomery County Appraisal District and fill out the rest of that information. You can find how many bedrooms, how many baths it's got, and everything like that. So what you do in that first 5 minutes is you want to make them feel comfortable, but a lot of times they're scared on the phone because they've gotten all these cards in the mail, and they're like, I'm finally going to talk to this person that will tie me up. I got stuff to do. So if you get them on the phone and off the phone, one of the best things is, hey, I know your time is very valuable. Don't let me take up a lot of it, but I need to ask you some basic questions. Then you go through the questionnaire with them. You know, I know your name. We've got your number here. Can you tell me what address that was? Because we sent out about 3,500 of these postcards, and I really don't have a good tracking system for it. So, you know, or you can say we sent out about 3,500 of these, so I don't know exactly which one you're talking about. Being honest with them. So as soon as you admit that you're being honest with them about it, then you can go in, okay, now that I've got the address and everything, is this a rental property? When they say yes or no to the rental property, okay, do you have a mortgage on that property or is it paid off? You can swap 2 and 3 around to get to the numbers that you need on them. Then you can go back and say, okay, is there any major repairs on the property or is it in pretty good rent shape? And they'll tell you the answer. Okay. What are you trying to move the property for? Is it just you're trying to restock your inventory, or as soon as you say or, just hush and listen, because usually they'll pick it up from right there and start answering why. And okay, well, how much would you like to make for the property? And you hush. You leave it open-ended to where now you're waiting on them. And they say, okay, I know that you need to make that on it, but if I can't do that, what is the best we can do today to help you? And I always try to say stuff like, the best we can do to help you. I want to make sure we can help you in this. Stuff like that, and that works really good, especially when you're negotiating. Will it work 100% of the time? No. There is no one method that will work 100% of the time. But if you listen and you have a good way of a good knowledge of what your questions that you need to answer are, then they become more fluid.
Right.
First phone call of the day is the hardest one to make. So is the second one. Third one, it starts getting easier. By the time you're to your 5th one, 6th one, you need to take a break, go and stretch your legs, stretch, do whatever you need to do, then sit back down, because 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, all the way up to 15 are going to fly by, and you'll just be bouncing this questionnaire with no problem as you've gotten into the groove of it. Okay? Am I saying that there's not going to be people out there who curse you and slam the phone in your ear? Nope.
Does Hugo do that to you guys?
They do. You know what I do? I say, good Lord, please take care of them, because they must be having a horrible day, because my day is so get with them and whatever they got going on, and you know, help them out. And then I go and pick up the phone and make the next phone call.
Right.
Don't take anything anybody says to you personal.
It's true.
Right.
Because not all calls are willing to sell, but yeah, I mean, we just gotta keep on dialing and find the right one who's willing to work with you and willing to sell their house to you.
That's
but
it.
yeah, but we really have to take advantage of each lead too. So the more we're comfortable in getting on the calls and trying to get the information and trying to get them feel more comfortable and trust you, then the more profits it's going to give the company.
Yes.
Yeah. So something that I'd like to add is, you know, don't try to make every lead convert into a deal.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
So like the ratio for us, like the measurement, the max measurement that I set for the team is they need to be converting at least 30 leads for every 1 contract at the maximum.
Okay.
If they're taking 40 to 45 leads to get 1 contract, then this business doesn't work for them and it doesn't work for me, right?
Right.
So that's why I need to make sure that they know exactly what different offers they can make. Because there's not your typical, I mean, you've got, for example, you've got your typical wholesale offer, which is 70% minus repairs, or other people might tell you start at 50% minus repairs, minus assignment, or whatever it may be. It's not just that. You know, you can also, depending on the property, you just need to get educated. Like, we've got certain hedge funds, certain buyers that buy properties at 80 to 90%. So we know that a deal could be good for that price range, that we can offer that much, because we know a buyer that's willing to pay more for it, right? Because it's an area, they're looking for anything outside of the Beltway 8 loop. They're looking for 1980 or newer, 3-bedroom, 2-bath. And they're really strict about that. So we know that whenever we find a house like that, that we can offer higher. We know what we've got. But if it's a regular wholesale transaction, it's in a really bad area, then we know we can't go up to 80%, or it just won't make sense. It just won't be a deal, and we just call it a no deal and follow up in 30 days.
Yeah, which leads me to another point. I think it's also a good thing for us VAs to understand which area in Houston's are good markets and not. I mean, yeah, we've been given instructions to by clients, the investors, that this is the zip codes that we're looking at, but we don't have a clear view of what the situation is really like in that area. Like, is it a good neighborhood? How much are the houses selling for? Those kinds of stuff. So like when we talk to a seller, we don't really understand what kind of neighborhood are they in. So yeah.
Yeah, to be honest with you,
yeah,
you don't really have to know.
Oh, okay.
Unless you're the one that's expected to get the contract. If that makes sense. So, for example, for me, right?
Mm-hmm.
If I were to hire a VA,
Mm-hmm.
all I would want them to do is get these five questions answered for me. Like, I almost guarantee you that if all you do in all the leads is answer these 5 questions and provide it to your client, that would be of tremendous value to them, because everything else you can get off of HCAP. Now, if they don't want to do work because they're busy, they have a full-time job or whatever it may be, then yeah, you can find the square footage, the beds, the bath, and all that stuff yourself, and you can provide it to them. But these 5 questions right here tell you enough. The investor, the client, like for example, in this case, if I were to hire a VA, I'd be the client. It's up to me to know, okay, what can I do with this deal? Can I wholesale it? Can I buy it? Can I wholesale it? Can I rehab it? Can I subject to it? Can I owner finance it? How can I make money with this? That's like my expertise, right? That's what I'm learning. That's what I'm understanding, and so forth. So the most important thing is that you get these 5 questions answered. If you get that every single time, it's like everything else can be figured out. I mean, this is how golden this is to us, because this tells us what can we do with this deal. Do we lock it up right now? Do we give them 2 weeks to think about it? Like, we're going to get gauge from them. If they're telling us, look, I've got 10 postcards and you're the first one that I'm calling, and they're willing, and they're at a reasonable price, and they need to sell because they're moving, guess what? We're going to jump on it. We're going to schedule an appointment. We're going to get a contract, right? Because it's important. If they're saying, no, I'm just curious, I mean, I'd sell for 80. I think it's worth about 100. I don't really have to sell. I'm just curious. Then you know that they're not really interested. They're not motivated at all. Doesn't sound like it. They're kind of reasonable, because they're wanting 80%, which is what any normal kind of investor would want, any landlord like that on their property at the bare minimum. So they're not really motivated. It's not really a screaming deal. Could you still make money? We could still probably make about $5,000 on that deal. So yeah, you could still make something. But at the same time, we're not going to jump on that. With the amount of leads that we get, we're going to prioritize the ones that are worth our time. And that's what you want to give to your client is, where are they going to prioritize their time based on your conversations?
Right. Okay. Thanks. Yeah, that was helpful.
You're welcome. If there's no questions, I can get into one of the phone calls, and I can share the comments on that if you don't mind me playing it, Jerry.
Jen, do you have a question or someone else? Guys? I think
Oh,
Jen
no,
was
I
on
don't
the
have.
phone.
Did I answer Jason's question?
Jason?
Yeah. Really helpful. Thank you.
Okay.
Just another follow-up question. Is it really necessary? Is it right to ask? Just for example, seller just mentioned that somebody else, like an investor or a buyer, provided an offer, but the selling is still ongoing. Would it still going to be right or necessary to ask, like, how much is your offer, so we could provide our own strategy? If we can, make a rebuttal, or we can provide a better offer to them, if the offers, if we can see if the offer from the other competitors are offering higher than we might be asked, or we might ask, or lower than the ball, or lower than what we offer. Would that be a good reference to
Jason, this
use?
is Alan. I just had that this morning.
Oh.
Good.
And,
That's nice.
What I did was I asked him point blank, what was the offer? And the lady was nice enough to share it. And I said, that's a lot closer to retail than what we would be able to offer for the property. But stay in communication with them. If they can't get it sold for that price, then, here's what our offer is. And I work off of it on what our numbers are. I'm not going to work off of it what somebody else is paying too much for the property or anything, because we know what our numbers would work at, and that's what we have to get it at. So, and I just educate the seller on how we come about our numbers. I've went everything from telling them, that landlord properties, landlord refinancing is 80%. Bank loan up to 80% of the property value. So that's why we can only offer 70% of the value, is because of that situation. There has to be a reason for our buyers to come in and be able to purchase the property.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Really makes sense. Thanks a lot.
Okay. So sometimes just by educating them a little bit and listening to their feedback, you can alleviate their fears, because all of a sudden you're the one who's explaining the process instead of just telling them what it's worth and giving them a blank stare. So it can help that way. And I know as VAs, that's some of your clients are going to want you to go farther into it with negotiation, but you want to go to a certain point. If they tell you to offer only 50%, you can always blame management. I'm sorry, but I'm only authorized by management to offer 50%. Can I follow up with you if I can get you more for the property? Can I have somebody else that's in the management call you? And then you can follow up with your client and let your client know what their offer, what you offered, and what they said from that. And just remember, when you're typing up the notes for it, seller said they're looking for at least 70%. Sometimes when you tell them the low price, you'll actually get them to actually let you know what they are wanting for the property as a minimum. Okay? Thank you.
Jerry, do I have your permission to use one of your calls as a case study?
I'm shy.
All right.
Yeah.
Go, Jerry.
I wish I don't have one of ours. I don't
It's
even
okay.
know if it would work. You could hear it.
So we can learn from it, Jerry.
Yeah.
Okay, sure.
Yay.
My God,
Let me
I'm
choose,
on the hot seat.
let me choose the one you
No judging, please.
No.
I'm gonna choose your worst one.
Oh,
Yeah, let me choose.
at least they know that I did better than that.
All right, let's see if this works. Tell me if you hear this.
go ahead and check on your, yeah. Well,
Can you
we were
hear that?
able to confirm
Yeah.
that.
Yes.
You can hear Jerry?
Yes, I can.
Okay, so we're gonna listen to it. We're gonna listen to it, and then I'll tell you my comments, and then then you can punch us back. But this is gonna be a great learning. Yeah, seriously.
Yes,
It,
yes.
it takes a big person, and you're very generous to share it because it's not only gonna be good for you, but for everyone else. So
Yeah, that's so true.
I've screwed up so many phone calls. One of the things that I tell my team members here is you don't have the permission to get it right. So you need to mess up. It's only with messing up that you learn. Messing up is what teaches you exactly what you need to learn so that you can become better every single time. Okay?
Exactly.
So that's how I see it. So nobody has the permission to get it right ever. Like you got to keep messing up.
I mean, I've been
Yeah.
working with Tim for 7 years, and I still get hang-ups every now and then.
Oh, I get hiccups and I get upset and I react and then I call back and I apologize, all that stuff. So it's all part of the business, part of the game. But yeah, so here we're gonna play it and then
Properties, we have tax, and go ahead and check on your, yeah. Well, we were able to confirm that, that property is behind tax and it's pretty much vacant. I just need to ask whether that's for sale.
No, it's not. It's just $2,000. It's just the tax is $2,000. I'm finna catch that up now.
Oh, I understand. So, well, I'm wondering if you might be interested in selling the property, to get.
Yeah, I'm gonna sell it. You ain't gonna probably give me what I want for it because you think I'm behind in my taxes.
Oh, of course not. Of course not. Actually, the reason why why we called you is to help you get some cash out of it instead of another tax bill. Yeah.
Well, so you got 40,000 you can give me?
Well, we could go ahead and check on that, right? What I could do is, we could use you cash offer
You give me 40,000, I'll sell it.
Well, we're going
I'm
to
just
take that.
$2,000 behind in taxes, and I'm finna catch that up. So if you got 40,000, that's what the house is for sale for.
okay, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna pause it periodically and then I'm gonna interject. So right there, he's giving me the price. If that was me talking, it's like, okay, I know I got it for 40,000. He's willing to sell it. Immediately, I'd ask him, okay, is that the best you could do? Because at that point, they either drop down $2,000, $3,000, $5,000, or they tell you, no, that's like the bottom line type price, and that's it. So at that point, if he tells me 40,000, I tell him, okay, all right, and is 40,000 the best that you could do? Are you flexible? And then they'll either tell me yes or no, and that'll tell me, how much wiggle room I got there, because that's how you can knock down $5,000 off of what they said, because keep in mind, they're trying to get the most for their property, right? So they probably have a figure in their head that they want or a range, and then they add on top of that. The same way that we have a figure in our head, and we deduct from that, right? So we need to get to the bottom of what it is, and that's one thing that you guys can consider is whenever they give you a price, immediately ask them, okay, and is that the best you can do? Are you flexible? And they'll either say yes or no. If they say yes, then awesome. You just got the price down from 40 down to 35 to 36, whatever it may be. Okay?
I see. Well, I will go ahead and take note of that. If you
Okay.
just, if you have a few moments, I'm just going to be asking for, some minutes of your time so that we can put together the best offer, okay? And I'm just going to be asking you a few questions about the property. How about that?
Okay.
All right. So, what would be the lot size of this property?
I have no idea.
So, like immediately, we wouldn't engage in these kinds of questions just because we can find all of that stuff online. And you want, if you're not answering phone calls, you want to spend your time answering phone calls and finding new leads for your clients so that you can get deals, right?
See, but how many bedrooms, how many bathrooms?
It's 3 bedrooms, 3 bedrooms, 1 bath.
All right, very good. Does it have a garage?
No garage. It's been converted.
Okay. Did you did you do any upgrade recently?
It's carpet. It's painted on the inside. It does need a roof. Let's see.
floors.
The bathroom has been updated,
Mm-hmm.
and that's pretty much it right there.
Okay.
I put central air in it. It didn't have central air. Central air in it now.
Okay. So it has central air conditioning right now?
Uh-huh.
All right. Awesome. Awesome. Let me just go ahead and check that. Okay. Central air. Okay. And you mentioned that it needs roofing, right?
Yeah, it needs a roof.
Okay. Okay. So works on the roof. Okay. And, okay. How long, I mean, how old is this property?
It was built, I want to say, in the 60s.
60s? Okay.
So, yeah, so it's about, I guess, 50 years old.
Oh, all right.
Almost 50 years old.
All right. Okay. And, okay. Let me check here. Okay, so central, air conditioning, new floors. Okay. But all in all, in general, what would be the condition of the house?
From what, 1 to 10?
1 to 10, yes.
I'll give it an 8.
8, awesome, awesome. We do have a pretty, pretty much.
Okay, I'm going to pause it there.
Well, I was listening, and you know what I do on the questions? I said any major repair. That's the key question. Any major repairs to be done in the property?
So you want to keep that in mind. You already know from what we're telling you that any minor updates, touching up paint, changing something here or there, whatever, $5,000 is what we immediately estimate for. But what we're more concerned about are major repairs, and major repairs are defined as foundation, roof, HVAC, the central air, and then major finishes, like if the house has mold, it was flooded, if you need if it's just been vandalized, sheetrock's torn up or anything like that. Those are the 4 things for major repairs: foundation, roof, and AC. And then major finishes, like, if it doesn't have any flooring throughout, or the walls are really messed up and needs a lot of work. But patching holes, painting here and there, that's all minor stuff. Changing a toilet, anything like that's all fits into our rent-ready $5,000 budget. So that's the key question is, does the property have any major repairs? That way you get to skip all of that stuff. And Jerry, by the way, you're doing great because you're asking all the questions that are important. And all we're sharing with you is how we get to skip all of that, because we did the exact same thing. We'd spend all this time with the seller, and at the end of the day, we didn't get a contract, and we would get frustrated and blah blah blah, right? So that's why it's important to get straight to the point with it.
Mm-hmm.
Habitable property here. But how long have you owned the property?
Probably 20 years.
20 years. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. And
or longer, probably about 25 years. I don't know. I've been married 20. I had it before I got married. So about let's say about 25 years.
Oh, I see. I see. Okay. Maybe the reason why why you're considering to sell the property.
All right, great job right there, Jerry. You said, so mainly the reason why you're considering to sell the property, whatever you said. And then you say, one of the major reasons why you're considering to sell the property, so really good job on that question.
Oh, I've been here 15, so I've just been holding on to that. I've been renting it out and stuff like that.
Awesome, awesome. And how long have you been trying to, to sell the property? Like just.
Well, I have a friend. I haven't really been trying to sell it. I have a friend. He wants to buy it, but he's been procrastinating, so he's in it.
So that, I'm going to pause it right there. That tells me immediately, great job, Jerry, by getting that out of him, by the way. That tells me immediately that he's got a friend that's procrastinating, if you do the opposite of what he's used to, you take action, you send him a cash offer. Look, I'll buy the property for $36,500 cash, pay all closing costs. You don't pay any realtor's commission, blah blah blah. All of the spiel that we go through. Then that's going to show him that you don't procrastinate, that you take action right then and there. When can we set up an appointment to meet with you so that we can do our first inspection? All that stuff. You get on the ball immediately. That's the kind of stuff that gets you the contracts. So that's what I'm hearing. This is what goes back to what I was sharing with you earlier. Don't listen to people's words. Listen to people's feelings and emotions. What I'm getting from his communication right there is that he's, not necessarily frustrated, but it's kind of like his buddy, has been procrastinating. So he's just like, all right, when's this guy gonna make a move? And his buddy doesn't make a move. So in a way, it's kind of like frustration.
Also understand, he gave you a key point right there. His buddy is actually living in the house. So his buddy is the renter.
Oh.
So this buddy that's procrastinating keeps paying rent, but hasn't moved forward to buy the house yet, which if he had the money to buy the house, of course he'd buy the house instead of paying rent and throwing it down the drain. So the guy is not really a serious buyer of the property.
So you want to show that you're a serious buyer, and you fulfill that lack of emotion that he has by taking it with actions.
He wants to buy it, but I'm waiting on him. That's why I was.
Well, if we're going to be giving you good offer, you're considering to to sell it to
Yeah,
us.
if you give me a good offer, I would. Yeah,
awesome. But is it?
Okay, so right then and there, you did a great job, Jerry, saying so if we give you a good offer. You use the word good, you paired it with offer, so that's always a plus in the seller's mind. Another thing that you could try is what I like to use every now and then to see how serious they are. It's like I test the seller a little bit. I kind of test them to see where they are, and I tell them, look, if I can get you, okay, if I can get you $35,000, make a phone call to my partners, and I can get $35,000 approved tonight, would that work? I don't tell them, would you take 35? I don't tell them, well, I can offer you 35. I tell them, what if I could get you $35,000 cash offer to close in the next 14 to 21 days? If I can get that approved by my partners tonight, would that work for you? And then you really get a sense of, how workable they are on the price and how fast they're willing to move. If they tell you, nah, really, it won't work, I told you I want 40 and this and that, and you just agree and say, okay, I'm still going to do my due diligence. I'm just curious, and that's it. No harm, no foul. Okay?
Listed with me?
No, it's not just with anyone.
Oh, I see. Awesome. And okay, that's what you're asking. Okay.
It's valued at 65.
I see. How do you decide on that amount?
That's what I want.
All right. All right. But is your price flexible? Like, could we?
No, because I think that's a good deal. It's valued at 65. 40 would be my best. That'd be the less I would go. So that's what I'm telling you.
So good job asking him if he was flexible. And right then I would say, yeah, absolutely. I got to double check. But if you're saying this is, valued at 65, then yeah, 40 is an awesome deal. I would agree with him. And on top of after agreeing with him, I would say, and if I get you $35,000 tonight approved cash, where keep in mind, if you list it, you got to pay realtor's commission. Depending on who you sell it to, you're probably, typically you have to split, you have to split closing costs. And so we save you all of that. We pay all closing costs. You don't have to pay any realtor's commission. We close in less than 30 days. We buy as-is condition. So if I can get you $35,000 net cash, where the only thing you have to pay for is your taxes up until the day of closing, will that work for you? Okay, and that would be a perfect line to say at this point.
I mean, I was going to say 50, but I know I'm not. If you serious about what you're saying, or you want to give me 40, I'm not going to take no less than 40.
All right, all right. But yes, you mentioned earlier.
So literally, just because they say I'm not going to, thank you, Hector. Just because they say I'm not going to take less than 40, that doesn't stop. we're going to immediately get on HCAD and we're going to look at what the HCAD value is. Typically, the market value is about 15% more than the HCAD value as a rule of thumb, okay? We're going to look at the HCAD value. If HCAD says 50, okay, and he's asking for 40, then we know that, you know, a good deal would be somewhere around 30, okay? You have something to say?
I was just running the numbers as he's talking there. He said it was valued at 65. So even if his number's a low ball, we'll use that one. He's wanting to sell it at 40. So if you multiply the 65 times 70%, you come out with 45,500 for the property. Subtract the 5,000 that we want for repairs, that's our normal. That would put us at $40,500. On a house like that, we would want $5,000 as an assignment fee, and it does need a roof, which would take another $. And that's basically where Hugo just came with as 30,000. I was just writing it on a sheet of paper while he's talking in his head.
So even if he says, like right there, I'm going to back it up again.
To be the less I would go. So that's what
I see. Awesome. And let me check here. 40,000 is the price for the house, right? That's what you're asking. Okay.
It's valued at 65.
I see. How do you decide on that amount?
That's what I want.
All right. All right. But is your price flexible? Like, could we?
No, because I think that's a good deal. It's valued at 65. 40 would be my best. That'd be the less I would go. So that's what I'm telling you.
Yeah, and this would be my response. Absolutely, yeah. 40 definitely is a great price, and I'm glad that you're reasonable. So even if he's not reasonable, I'd still create him to be that way for me. And I tell him, yeah, I'm glad that you're really reasonable with us, and you're giving us a good deal. Now let me ask you this: if I'm able to get $35,000 approved tonight, cash offer to you, where I'm sending you an actual contract with our offer, where we pay all the closing costs except taxes, close in less than 30 days, pay you cash, get you don't pay us any realtor's commission, would that work for you? Even if he just told me 30 is the bottom, the less or whatever, even if he said 40, yeah, even though if he said 40 was the least, I'd still go ahead and ask him that. There's no, there's nothing stopping me from doing that, because he, it might get him to thinking, when I'm offering him 40, it's like, look, I'm offering you 35 net. Somebody else might offer you 40, but they expect to pay this. If they're dealing with the realtor, you got to pay their commission because the seller pays for commission. You're not going to net 35. You're going to net somewhere around 31, 32, who knows what, after you're paying taxes, commissions, closing costs, and all that stuff. But if I get you net in your pocket 35, would that work? And I can get it tonight? Because we're ready to buy. We've got about, so many deals going on right now, and we're looking to buy about another 3 before the end of the month. So I would love for it to be your property. Will that work for you? And then just listen to what they say. They either say yes or no, because guess what? If they say yes, awesome. Now you got a better deal. If they say no, not a big deal, you might still have a deal.
I see.
I mean, I was going to say 50, but I know I'm not. If you serious about what you're saying, you want to give me 40, I'm not going to take no less than 40.
All right, all right. But yes, you mentioned earlier that you still owe around $2,000 for the tax.
Yeah, I'm going to take.
Behind in any of your payments?
No, it's paid for.
Okay.
No, that's paid for.
Okay, but yeah, because what we also do is, to finalize that.
I'm going to pause it quick. Alan's got to step.
Thanks for being on call, letting us at least have a chance to meet you and everything. And I hope y'all have great success at this. Remember one thing: no matter what they say on the phone, it's just a phone call. Once you hang up the phone, it's over with. That one's done. On to the next one. Put a smile on your face and enjoy your days, and have a great weekend, folks.
Thanks, Alan.
All right, Alan, have a good weekend.
Or to come up with a cash offer, we also do an inspection. We would personally go to the property so that we could take a look at it. If I may ask, when would be the best time that we could go there, to check on it?
What do you mean? Just you want to go inside and look at it?
Yes.
I have to call my friend that lives in there, and he asked him what's the best time for him. And
I
I'll
see.
give you a call back, because, I mean, he have all the keys. I don't even have a key to it. I had the key. I don't know what the hell I done with my key.
I see.
But,
I see. So you have a friend nearby, I mean, near that property who could assist us with the inspection. All right.
uh-huh.
So once we've decided to visit the property, I'll go ahead and give you a call, or
Okay.
right after this call, you could also check on your friend, so that once we call back, you already have the the time set up.
Sure.
All right.
Sure. All righty.
Okay. Well, is there anything else you think I should know about the property aside from how
No.
much? Nothing else? Okay.
No.
All right. All right. So let me just check on this. This is the best number that I could contact you, right?
Right.
All right. Do you have email address?
Huh?
Do you have email address?
Yeah.
You do? Mm-hmm.
How about I just give you my cell number? You
Of
just
course.
call my cell.
Of course. That'd be perfect.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's 713
Mm-hmm.
816
Mm-hmm.
2079.
All right. Okay. 713-816-2079. Okay, I have everything noted here in case that I do have any other questions regarding the property. I'll go ahead and give you a call on this cell phone.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Okay. Well, I'm not going to take much of your time. I'll thank you for it. Okay.
All righty.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Okay, so my quick notes that I'll go over on that call was for Jerry, good job in getting the info from the seller and staying in the conversation despite his defensive tone at the beginning. Most people, when they get defensive, you kind of get scared or whatever. But good job, Jerry, in not letting that get on you. Another thing would be skipping all the unnecessary information like the lot sizes and stuff like that. You really want to just get straight to the point with like those 5 questions that I shared with you.
Yes.
And provide it in the order that I put it, because it's for that reason that question 1, 2, and 3. Question 1 gets you the most important info, that if they call and hang up, you can call them back. You've got their contact info. Sometimes you ask them, is this the best number to reach you at, the one we're talking on? They might say, no, I'm calling from my work line. Call me to my cell phone. Well, now you document both numbers in your notes so that you have every means and way to communicate with them should the call break up or something happen. At some point it sounded to me like you were trying to get him to sell for his taxes that he owed, and basically you don't want to try to convince somebody what they should do. Like, well, you owe $2,000 in back taxes, so we're trying to get you out of that and so forth. I mean, it's good that you ask it, but he said, yeah, I'm not going to do that, because obviously he wants some equity. So you want to try to not convince people. What they need to do, you want to make it seem like they thought about the idea, and that's probably one of the biggest things that I learned from Tim was, you want to like guide people to get to the result that you want, but you want them to make them feel like they're the ones that came up with that. As funny as that may sound, you want them to feel like I chose this, I got here, not they told me to do this and I had to do this, right? So you want them to tell them, yeah, so I know you owe back taxes. Is that a burden on you? Would you like to be relieved of that? They tell you, no, it's actually not a burden at all, and I'm going to pay it next week. Then obviously you can't use the back tax as a way to get a deal, right? But you need to hear to them actively what's he going through, because it just sounds like, to me more than anything on that phone call, it sounds like he's just, tired of his friend more than anything. His friend's living in the house, paying what he wants. He just wants to get rid of it. And yeah, he owes back taxes. If he didn't owe back taxes, then it really wouldn't be a hassle. So it's just like, look, if we can talk to you, if you want to, we can talk to your friend, and we can get you a cash offer, and that way he doesn't feel like you're kicking him out or anything like that, and we can make you an offer that'll work for you, that'll work for us as well. It has to work for the both of us, and at the same time we can talk to your friend so he doesn't feel like you are the one that are kicking him out. And then he'll, if you hit the nail on the head with that, then you've got his attention. If it's not even close to what I'm saying, then he'll tell you, because this is what I'm guessing. So you're never going to get it 100% right listening to the other person, but now start to listen to them from a different perspective. Don't listen to their words, listen to their emotions. And I can hear that he's tired of his friend procrastinating, and he's living there, and it needs a roof. The property's not improving, it's deteriorating, and now he's got taxes and stuff that he has to pay. So that's what I would focus in on. And if that's not it, then you just got to keep uncovering, or he just may be totally blocked off to being honest with you of why he's even talking to you. Because I guarantee you that if the people that you talk to are not interested, they wouldn't be willing to talk.
Right.
They're calling you for a reason, and then something happens that something gets in their way that they either decide, hey, I don't want to do this or whatever, but trust me, there's a reason. We just need to be good at finding that reason. Let me see another note that I put. Yeah, he gave you his price, $40,000, but he never really told you his reason. He said, yeah, I bought another house, I've been renting it out, blah, 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 but he didn't give you a reason. So sometimes you want to create the reason for your seller. Say, yeah, I mean, has it been a hassle? Is it a headache? And then they'll say either, no, not really, or they'll say, yeah, I mean, it's been a hassle. It's like, did you ever plan on being a landlord? And then they'll say, no, not really. I did. It's difficult and definitely not what I thought it was. And you tell them, okay, well, hopefully our offer, our business deal that we can work out can bring you some peace of mind, can bring you some cash, back to you and blah, blah, blah. The last note that I put was take but out of your language. So that's something that we already shared earlier. So that was great. I want to do, if y'all have to go, I understand. I've got probably about 15 more minutes. But I want to do this other call. Is that okay? Is that okay with y'all?
Sure.
Okay.
Hello?
Yes, hi, I'm looking for David.
Speaking.
Hi there, David. This is Jerry, the one you spoke with last week regarding your property in Dewberry Street. Do you still remember me?
Mm-hmm.
Hi, how are you?
All right.
Oh, lovely. Well, yeah, we've agreed that I'll call you back today so that I'll be able to know the information about the loan amount for that property. You already have it?
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
No, I don't.
Oh, I see. Well, when can you provide the loan amount so that we could start negotiating about this property?
Okay. What are you telling that you need?
I'm sorry?
Huh?
Yes, because last week we've agreed that you'll dig into your records, you look for the papers, and look for the amount of, because you mentioned that this property is owned by 2 companies, and one of them you own something. Well, yes, you agreed to get that information so that I could go ahead and start analyzing the property's value, and we'll start from there. Yeah.
Let me see if I can get it together, and I'll call you tomorrow. Call you at this number?
Yes, just call me on this number. Yes, same time tomorrow, no problem. All right.
Okay.
All right. Thank you. Bye.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Okay, one of the notes that I wrote on that call was you want to match people and you want to mirror them. You do not want to be apologetic unless they are apologetic. And what that means is if somebody's upset, I'm not saying get mad at them, but if they're upset, you want to mirror them. You want to be stern. You want to be, I'm just really interested, and I don't want to take up too much of your time, and I'd like to get a price, but I'm not really seriously looking to sell right now. And you want to match them. You tell them, okay, well, thank you so much for your time. It's not a big deal. You want to mirror that person, however they're talking to you. If they're stern and you're like cowardish and you're scared and all that, then you're never gonna have an opportunity to get a deal because you're winning in their game. Their game is to dominate you, right? And they're winning when you're just, not confident, when you're not defending, when you're just taking it, right? Whenever they say, hey, you sent me the postcard, I usually respond, yeah, absolutely. I send out thousands of postcards strong like that. If it's somebody that says, hi, yeah, thank you, I got your postcard saying that you want to pay me cash for my property. I was just curious, what you had in that, and let me do some numbers. You have a couple minutes so I can ask you a few questions. It shouldn't take longer than 5 minutes. And then we go from there. So you want to mirror the person. Just keep that in mind because that's very important. You don't want to be opposite of them because then you're winning their game. You want to win your game. Your game is to get the information that you need and eventually for you or your client to get the contract so that they can either sell it or buy it or whatever they need to do. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. These calls are good. These calls are really good. Do y'all have any questions or comments?
Anyone else?
I guess they all hung up.
No, they're still there.
I'm still here.
It's very valuable. I really like it.
I think listening to the recordings are good. Another good thing that we could do, and I think we may have to schedule some other times. I'd be glad to. But I think another good thing would be is that you guys pretend you're the seller, and I am you guys, right? And then you throw at me what they throw at you, and then you see how I respond.
Mock calls. All right.
Yes.
Yeah,
mock calls. Yeah. Anyone who would want to do that with Hugo? You're the seller, so it's not. There's really no right. Right
or wrong, yeah.
Yeah, there's no right or wrong because you're the one who's selling your house. So.
Could be Marge or Jerry or Jason or whoever else on the line.
Hugo, I actually have just a quick question, or I would say a clarification. So is it really, about a tax? So when it comes to, from the point of view that about the 5 questionnaires, because definitely I used to do that on my calls just to minimize the entire thing, because there are a lot of sellers who are not really into asking a lot of questions of their own, and they might as well just get a hang up and just go directly to the point, financial background, etc. Now, when it comes to the taxes, I usually ask this as well if they are behind the payment or not. So you mentioned from part of this from what you mentioned earlier that so most of the time it's going to be the owner who needs to settle this tax. Like it's not going to be added or with the mortgage when it comes to providing offer.
Okay, so I didn't get your question, sorry.
I'm sorry. So I mean, is it really necessary that the seller or the owner most of the time would really need to settle down their taxes?
Not all the time, but it's trust me, it's a worry that they have.
Right.
They're addressing, and you tell them. I mean, you never want to make them feel like if you don't buy if they don't sell you their house, that they're going to be in deep trouble, right?
Okay. Right.
No, but go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, I think what Jason is trying to say is I don't know if I understood him correctly, but is it always the case that when you're negotiating, can you also offer it that you pay the taxes together with the deal? Like, I'm going to...
That would work as well.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, is that your question, Jason?
Question. It's okay. Go ahead.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so not always, does, when somebody owes back taxes, do they need the, do you need to offer to sell for that? That's where you want to start off with, hey, if I take care of your taxes,
Okay.
Would you be willing to sell your house for what you owe in back taxes? It would be the exact same mortgage question that I was talking about with somebody earlier. It would be the same thing. Would you be willing? So you owe. It shows here you owe about $2,500 in back taxes. Is that accurate? And then they'll say yes or no. If they say yes, then you say okay. Would you be willing to sell for that? But let me explain this first. The name of our game is to get a number from them first.
Okay.
Okay? If we give a number first, then we lost the game immediately, right?
Mm-hmm.
We need them to give us a number first. It doesn't matter what it is. And that's what I teach our team is stay in the conversation until you get a number. It doesn't matter what it takes. I've got a guy out in California that it took me 4 calls because he hung up on me 3 times, and by the 4th time that I called him back, he finally gave me a number, and he was upset. And he said, 135. Hung up.
Wow.
Yeah, but I didn't give up because I value my time, I value my business, I value my money, I value my family, I value my friends. The reason why I say that is because that is the game that we're playing, guys. We are in the game of let's get a number from them so that where they're at. But when you're offering them, you're always playing their game. You know?
Right.
The truth
You
is,
go ahead.
huh?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's true. I agree.
Yeah, the truth is that they need you. And the truth is that you need them, right? But if you paint it in a way where it's you don't need them and they actually need you, right, then they realize that, wow, this person's really, you know, making me a deal, making me an offer because you're really responding to their concerns and so forth.
Right.
So that's what you want to do. You really want to get that number from them, and you know you can call up past due tax leads and so forth, and you can say, yeah, I heard you're behind in your taxes. Send them some marketing piece or whatever, and then they call you, yeah, I got your postcard, you know, I'm back on my taxes, blah blah blah, or whatever. I saw your ad on online, and they let go of that property for first. And when they tell me, you know, they want whatever it is, you know, I want the most that I can get. And I say, okay, how much would that be? Like, just ask them straight up how much it would be, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
But does that answer your question, kind of? Or?
Yes,
Hi,
it
Hugo.
does.
It's me, Jen.
Hugo, this is Jen.
Good.
Casey's
Good, Jen.
VA.
Yeah, I have a follow-up question.
Sure.
What if
Yeah.
they say you sent me a postcard, so you should have a number, you should have an offer?
Perfect. So this is what I say. So let's mock that right there. You ready? Okay.
Kring, kring.
Hi, this is Hugo.
Jen?
Hello?
Oh, sorry. Hello.
Yes. Hi, this is Hugo.
Yes. Yes. What can I do for you?
Hi, yes. You called me. Who am I speaking with?
This is Jen.
Oh, hi, Jen. Thank you for calling. Can I help you?
Oh, am I the seller? Or
Yes.
Yeah.
You're the seller who got the postcard.
okay. Yeah, I got a postcard from you, and how much are you offering?
Oh, absolutely. Thank you so much for calling me. What, Jen, do you have about 5 minutes to answer a couple of questions that I have?
No.
Okay. When would be a good time that you will have 5 minutes so that we can talk?
Well, I just want to know how much you're gonna offer.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I need. That's why I need 5 minutes of your time so that I can give you my offer price. When would you have time so that we can talk?
Okay, we can talk now.
Okay, great. Thank you. So my first question would be, is this a good number to reach you at? Should we get disconnected?
Yes, this is a good number.
Okay. And what's the address of the property?
123 Main Street.
123 Main Street. Thank you. And what's the zip?
1234.
Okay. 1234. You have a mortgage on the property, or is it paid off?
Yes, it's paid off.
Okay. Good deal. Thank you very much. And is the property
Oh,
current?
oh, sorry, Hugo. What if they say
You say whatever you want.
yeah, what if they say no, I don't want to disclose that.
Okay, not a problem. So is the property vacant, or is there a tenant?
I'm living in it.
You're living in it? Oh, okay. Good deal. If we were to make you an offer that works for you, would you be ready to move in the next 30 days?
Oh, what's your offer?
Well, yeah, I'm saying that if we make you an offer that works for you, like let's say I make you an offer and you say, yeah, that works for me, Would you be ready to leave, to move in 30 days?
Yeah, if the price is right.
Okay, wonderful. Now, Jen, what would be your reason for considering to sell us your property?
Well, I'm not really interested in selling my property. I just want to know your offer.
Gotcha, not really interested. Okay. Not really interested in selling it, you're just interested in getting an offer?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. I'm definitely going to work up the numbers and I'm going to get you an offer within the next 24 hours or less. The last question that I have for you is, how much money would you like to make for your property?
I haven't had it appraised yet, so I don't have an idea.
Gotcha. So you have no clue what it's worth, right? Your tax value say.
1,000?
The tax value of the property is 100,000?
Yes.
Okay, gotcha. Would you be willing to sell for the tax value?
I'd like to sell it more than that.
Okay. How much more?
I'd like to make like $50,000 more.
Okay. Good deal. And is that flexible?
Yes.
Okay. Sounds good. Well, I have enough information here so that I can go run some numbers. Thank you very much for your call, and I will definitely be in touch with you in less than 24 hours. Is there any other number and email that I can reach you at that I can email you our offer?
You can just reach me on this number.
Okay, wonderful. So I'll call you at this number the next 24 hours or less. Thank you very much.
Good job. You didn't stop.
Wow. What an owner. I'm amazed.
No, but Hugo, you didn't stop. Like I never really thought about those tax value question. Like, oh yeah.
So I want you to notice a couple things. When I asked you, you see, when I asked you, is there a mortgage or is it paid off? You immediately told me, oh, it's paid off. And Dulce can say right here with me, she can say that probably like 99% of the time, the people either tell us if they have a mortgage or if it's paid off. Because if you see quick, I don't give them time to think.
Oh, okay.
Okay? When you give them time to think and you pause and there's too much time, they get wrapped up in all of their stories and all their mess in their head and all that stuff.
Right.
To think, I ask them the questions and I expect a response. The minute they become unreasonable, then I know that it's not a deal right now or it's not time to get the information that I need. So I'll just reschedule it for another time, for another day that they have time. You know?
Yeah.
They typically never, if they tell me they got 5 minutes, like we usually always get all the information that we need. Okay? If they don't, then they're going to make up all these excuses. No, just give me an offer. Goodbye. I don't have time. Yeah. The truth is they don't want to share the information because they feel like they're losing, right? So so that's how I don't give in to their game and I play my game. And this is how I play my game. You guys just saw an example of it. So right when I tell you, so I skipped right over the mortgage or the paid off question number 2. You said, no, I don't want to disclose it. Okay, I didn't resist it. I said, okay, not a problem. Because I don't care about question number 2 or number 3. Question number 2 or number 3 gives me good information. It allows them to talk to me. I get to negotiate. I get part number 5 that I care about. That's all I care about. That tells me, is this worth my time or not? So if I say, what's your reason, and you say, I'm not really, I'm not really interested, I just want an offer, then what I'm going to say is, like, okay, great. Immediately, I'm going to know this is not a deal, because there is no reason, there is no motivation. She just wants a number.
Right.
And then I jumped right to the next one. Okay, so let me ask you the last question. How much would you like? And like, I don't know, probably, I mean, you say how many, like out of 10, how many give you a number? Like 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10 people give Dulce a number. And if they don't give you a number, it's like, no, you make me an offer. I agree. I don't resist it. I say, absolutely, I'm going to give you a number. I'm going to give you my cash offer within 24 hours or less. I got to run some numbers, do some analysis, get my partners to take a look at it, and we'll get you a cash offer. Now let me ask you this: what's the tax value of the property? So when they tell me a number, that's them like writing a number in their head of what they expect, and that tells me that's already getting a number out of them. So number one, I won my game. Number two, I'm really winning my game when I ask them, are you willing to sell? Are you willing to sell at tax value? Or are you willing to sell below tax value? Or you can start wherever you want. It's how you phrase it so that
you can get something out of them.
Exactly. Yeah. So basically, don't give them time to think, and then whenever they resist you, then just reschedule them for another time. Tell them, hey, whenever you got time, so we can ask you these questions, because I need these questions. Yeah, I need these questions in order to get you an offer. Without, this is what I need. So they either talk to you when it's worth your time, or you don't talk to them because it's not worth your time to talk to them.
Right. Cool.
Nice one. Wow.
Yeah, it was nice. It was good. Yeah, because you get him all the time. You get him all the time. It's either they're busy or they've received so many calls from people who wanted to buy their house, and it's just wasting so much time answering and going through all those questions again.
So you don't give up and play their game. You get them to play your game. Even if they don't want to play your game, you get them to play it by saying, okay, well, I'm going to need to get these answers in order to give you an offer. So when can I schedule a follow-up with you when we can get these questions answered? Because without it, I can't do it right now.
And it just gives them more, oh, you're going to call again? I don't want to get any more calls from you guys, so let's just get it done and over.
I might as well just hang up now because it's not a deal. Like, I'm not going to, all I'm going to end up doing is making them an offer, and then they're going to say no, and then they're going to win their game, and then they're off to do whatever they want to do, right? And then here I am feeling like crap because, another one.
What's the demotivation part on our part is to not being able to convert those leads. I mean, like especially for me, I talk to a lot of students and I get a lot of complaints about, oh, my postcard campaign is not working. I've already sent this much every week and I already spent this much, and I know that they're working with a VA from us, and gosh, like they spend a lot of money and then we're not converting those leads. Like it just makes me feel bad.
Right. And what it comes down to is how much they're willing to give up. And what I mean give up is you got to give up, right? You got to give up that you're going to do really well. It might be a complete failure, right? Because when you come from a space of no expectation, then nothing can disempower you.
That's true.
When you come from a space of expectation, then anything that doesn't go your way, anything that doesn't go your way disappoints you, or what we say disempowers you. Right. You have to be willing to give up that, like, and I'm talking to the students that tell you this, you have to be willing to give it up. So, the name of this game is to stay in action. That's the name of this game. And the things that take you out of action, the things that disempower you, are your thoughts and your feelings. And if your thought is, I'm not action, you will take. And that will become your truth.
Yes.
How is it that there's some students nothing? How is that possible? Well, what are the ones that are succeeding? What are they doing? Versus what are the people not succeeding? So it's the same conversation for you. What's the difference between you, somebody that can convert, and with somebody else that can convert?
Right.
Right. So what works for me is to find ways to stay empowered, always. And when I get disempowered, which happens all the time, is I just acknowledge it. I like Alan said, every 5 to 6 calls, I tell them, you guys take a break, get up, stretch, talk, complaining and tough and resisting you and all that stuff. Just tell them, man, I can't stand these people. Just it's hard. It's blah 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 blah. Get it out.
Yeah.
Once you're done, then whoever you share with, you say, okay, is that it? Anything else? Then they'll say, well, yeah, I'm just tired and blah, 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 blah. I didn't get my rest last night, and I'm thirsty right now, and I'm fat, and blah, blah, who knows what, right? Is that it? Okay, yeah, that's it. Okay, now get back on the court. Get back making those calls because it's a numbers game. If you make it your goal, you need to constantly find a context that empowers you. And I'll give you a couple of contexts that I tell my team that help us stay empowered so that we don't give up. One of the contexts is, and I learned this at one of our masterminds from the other students, was don't make it your goal to get a yes. Because when you make it your goal to get a yes for a contract to get accepted, guess what's going to happen? You're going to be like, yes, I got it. Finally, I got what I wanted, and then you stop. right?
Mhm.
So
If
what
you
is the
get,
goal then?
the goal is to get a no.
Hmm?
How many no's can you get in one day?
So that when
A
you get a
lot.
yes.
Yeah. You see,
Oh.
here's why this context works so well in our business. If you're out to get rejections and not acceptance, what's going to happen when you go out to get 30 no's today?
The tendency is
The tendency is
Frustration.
the
you'll get a yes.
frustration. Yeah, and within that frustration of those 30 no's, you'll probably get 1 or 2 or 3 yeses.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Because this is a numbers game. It's that simple.
Right.
So what happens if you start, if this is your game, and you start to say, wow, like me actually getting, like it's my goal to get 30 no's. Like it's cool if I get 1 or 2 yeses, but it's really my goal to get 30 no's per day.
No, but it's true. Yeah, it's a numbers game. So the marketing and all those stuff mean.
So so instead of looking at a no as something that you don't want, change your mindset, empower yourself by saying the no is what I want. It's actually the no that will bring me.
Very good point. Very good point.
So when you start to win your game, because like all of us, we love in our life of being human being, we love to play games. You know, we love to compete. We love to do all those things. If we start off with something like, I want to get 30 no's today just for the heck of it, like I really want to get rejected 30 times today. And if I don't get 1 yes, guess what? It doesn't bother me because that's not what I'm up to. What I'm up to is get yourself, this is like, man, if I could get 30 no's and I didn't get disempowered, maybe now I can get 40 no's.
Right.
Maybe now tomorrow I can get 45. And you start getting good. You start doing what other people aren't willing to do, which is deal with rejection. The way people respond, they get scared, they run away, they avoid it, they resist it. No, you're the complete opposite, and that's what will make you successful. You take on rejection like nobody else will take it on. You take it on powerfully. You make it your purpose in this business to get rejected. You want to get rejected. Now you don't want to be like, mean about it, but you want to say you want the conversation to end up with a no because your goal is to get 30 no's. What's going to end up happening is all of a sudden you get rid of your expectation of getting yeses. Now you're not expecting to get yeses, you're expecting to get no's. Somehow Jason, Jerry, Jen, and Marge start getting 10 yeses per day, Yeah.
So the idea is to get in there and call as many people as you can, not expecting anything but a no.
The idea is to be flexible and dynamic.
Right.
And that you always are looking at where's your mindset at right now and change it whenever it's not working for you.
Right.
So if your current mindset is working and you're getting yeses, then keep doing what's working.
Yeah.
If what you're doing is not working, then do something different. You always want to change. That's life. You can't stay static. That's business. You got to constantly be changing to doing the stuff that produces results that work.
Not to stick at status quo.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay.
Not bad.
Yeah.
Wow.
You go?
Yeah. I challenge all of you to take it on, at least for a week. Make it your game. Like, who cares if you get 300 no's this week and no yeses? Who cares if you get no yeses?
Yeah.
You know how to make offers. You know how to negotiate. Just get the information, right? And, get those 300 no's this week. Seriously. Like, that will empower you because that's what you're up to getting. And when you realize how good you are at getting a no, it's like, man, I can get a lot of these. Eventually, trust me, eventually you will get a yes.
Yeah.
You will get a yes, and it'll be a good yes.
Okay.
Yeah. That's good. Any more questions, guys? It was really good.
It is.
Yeah, we can do this again with other recordings, or we can do mock calls, or we can just check in, what the status is. If you guys want to set it up, put it on my calendar. I'll be out of town until next Wednesday. I leave tomorrow, so.
Oh, okay. Well, yes, we will try everything that you've learned. Try to talk to the team and then get on a number where we could, as a target initially for a week, and then we'll let you know the results.
Okay, great.
Yeah?
Yeah, just let me know what worked for you, and really try to
Yeah.
use the 5-question questionnaire that
Right.
works for us, and we don't waste any time. We're always taking action.
Yep. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. You know, Hugo is part of the like prosperity as a student, and I really appreciate you taking time and taking us in to let us learn this stuff. And it's really, I mean, you don't. I mean, Tim is just, oh, don't waste his time. Just go to FreedomSoft and listen to some gurus coaching calls.
Yeah.
And I said, no, but we really want to get it from somebody who is in there and we could ask questions and who can empower us. And you did just that. So thank you so much.
No, you're welcome. It's my pleasure. It's an honor to be able to speak with you, and thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you
Right?
so much.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank
It
you.
was very helpful.
You're welcome.
Yes, it is.
Well, yeah, so we'll go back to work. We'll talk for a little bit after this call, but we'll go back to work. We'll let Hugo and the team go. Thank you so much, guys, from ARCO. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Hugo's team as well.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, you have a nice vacation, Hugo, and I hope you see Holland win the championship. I have a strong feeling that we'll win, so we'll see. We'll see. Chile on we play against Chile Monday.
Oh, nice. This is a strong team, so we'll see.
Yeah, but we see. They say Brazil is also good, so we'll see.
Awesome.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you so much. You have a nice weekend, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.